Hello children, today we'll be doing quadratic equations for year 9 and 10. I make maths easy and simple for your day-to-day practice in school mathematics. I believe in simplicity. I just have a board and a pen and I want to teach my natural way, and I go for 30 years back thinking that I am teaching my girls of Sacred Heart Convent, and the feeling I get is I cannot really express. But I know that now I am teaching their children and many more. So let us go back to the chapter quadratic equations. I just did the previous video of mine was on quadratic expressions and the simple way of factorizing it. Any equation you have in one variable, the question will be evaluate or solve. That is, find the value of x. For that we have to bring all the terms to one side and factorize it. Okay? So when you bring all the terms to one side, the right side becomes 0. Why do we factorize? So when you factorize the left hand side or the right hand side, wherever you have transferred the terms, A into B into C is 0, means one of them has to be 0, or one or more, because 0 into any number is 0. So that is why we factorize polynomial expressions in equation form to evaluate the value of that one variable. So in the first one we saw two terms quadratic. There are two ways of solving. The number of solutions in an equation depends on the power of the variable. In simple equation 3x plus 5 equals 11, the power of x is 1. So you'll get only one value of x. If you have 3x square equals 5, the power of x is 2. So there will be two values, possible values, which will satisfy this equation. If you have x cube equals 1, you often write x is cube root of 1, which is 1. No, but there are three values because the power of x is 3. So if a polynomial equation of one variable, if you have the power of x as n, there will be n values of x, where n is a whole number. Is it clear? So quadratic equations are equations having one variable. Okay, there's an equal sign somewhere in between the terms which are connected with plus and minus, and the highest power of the variable is 2. So remember, you should get two values of x. So when you're doing the first equation, we often see children, it's very normal, it's automatic. We like to cut things. Adding things is difficult, but cutting things is easy. Construction is difficult. Destruction is easy. So what happens? You get x is 3. So we're getting only one value of x. But what did I say? A quadratic equation, the degree of x is 2. So there will be two values of x. So in cutting, one value of x you have neglected, and that's 0. So let us see. This is not the right way. You know you have to get two answers, but here you got only one answer. So how do we tackle the first sum? The first sum which I have given is this is the second, and this is the third. So you factorize. What do I say? Bring the terms to one side. Factorize. This is common term, not middle term factor. X into x minus 3 is 0. So this product will be 0. One of the factors is 0. So either x is 0, so 0 into x minus 3 will be 0. Or if this is 0, if x minus 3 is 0, then for x equals 3, this factor becomes 0. So when x is 3, this will be 0. So the two possible values are 0 and 3. You know, the two possible values are, solution set is 0 and 3. So you got two answers. Do not cut. Similarly, I gave you the second equation. So what is the tendency of? I will explain in my course of explanation. Always will be mentioning, I'll be mentioning what most of the time children do, and which is very normal, which is very, very normal. It's not abnormal, right? For example, the second one. So solve. The question is solve. Nobody mentions solve the quadratic equation. So it goes out of the mind for the child that there will be two values of in this. So 5a square equals 125. So a square is 125 divided by 5, which is 25. Okay, divide both sides with 5 to release 5a square from 5. So a, you write square root of 25 and 5. This is a very common mistake of any child, because square root of 25 he'll write 5, but it is actually plus minus 5. Always the square root of a number is plus minus the number, because 5 into 5 is also 25, minus 5 into minus 5 is also 25. Only if it is regarding x, what it is, if it is age of a person, you write plus minus 5, but you will say it cannot be minus 5 because age cannot be negative. Okay, if it's a height of a person, then you neglect minus 5 and you write answer as 5. But you have to mention plus minus 5. If it is integers, then your answer will be plus minus 5. Your teacher will give wrong if you just write 5. I told you quadratic equation degree is 2, so there will be two values of a. Okay, so the next one, the next sum is a complete one. So another way of doing 5a square minus 125 is 0. Take the 5 out. A square minus 25. Yesterday only mentioned what is a square minus b square. These are squares of two numbers with a subtraction sign in between. So we will apply a plus b into a minus b. So that is 5. A plus 5 into a minus 5 is 0. So 5 cannot be 0. Now children, there are three factors. There are three factors here. 5, a plus 5 and a minus 5. So many people had 5 equals 0, a plus 5 equals 0. How can 5 be 0, children? 5 is a known number. We are finding the value of the unknown variable here, unknown term, that is a. 5 cannot be 0, 5 is 5. So the 0 can only be because this or this is 0. So if a plus 5 is 0, then it is 0 when a is minus 5. And if a minus 5 is 0, then it becomes 0 when a is 5. So the two possible values here are 5 and minus 5. Okay, so both ways you can do, but only the risk is when you do square root of a number. Children of 80% of children just write 5. They don't write plus minus 5. Okay, or big children, I don't say only small children, big children also do the same mistake. They are in a hurry to finish the sums, so they do that. Okay, it is not that you don't know. Sometimes we lose marks because of carelessness. Okay. So next one is this, the complete one. So here you have x square minus 12x minus 45 is 0. So yesterday I told you in the last class of in the video of quadratic expressions, factorization, product is minus 45. So the difference of the factors of 45x square, the difference of the factors of difference you have to take. So that is, which will give you 12. So 9 and 5 is 45, but difference is 4, right? So we take 45 ones are 45, difference is 44. So we take 15 threes are, right? I told you don't worry, should I take minus 15 or plus 3 or plus 15 and minus 3? Just write x square, write the minus. 12 is the difference you have to take. So difference of which two factors? 15 and 3. Put the x, minus 45 is equal to 0. Okay. So here let me rub this out. Yes. So here now I open the bracket. Don't forget this. Minus 15x plus 3x minus 45 is 0. You can take the first and the second. Do not use brackets. So x into x minus 15 plus 3 into x minus 15 is 0. So the two factors are, common factor is x minus 15 into x and x plus 3. So what I am getting? Two factors. If this is 0, of course big children write directly 15 and minus 3. So if this is 0, then x is 15, and if this is 0, x is minus 3. So the two values are 15 and minus 3. That's how you solve the quadratic equation. Sometimes we get quadratic equations. Now many a times the teacher says solve. Okay. She says solve the following: 3x by 5 minus 7 into 2x by say 5 plus 1 is 0. Teacher says solve. And it is even more confusing when immediately after quadratic equations taught, teacher gives this sum in the test. You know what many of the children do? They open the bracket, they simplify it, they bring it in the form ax square plus bx plus c, bring the terms, factorize it, and they get the answer. Children, the right side is 0, no number, and their product of two factors. They already factorized. It is already factorized. So why are you opening the brackets? You have to factorize to solve, and I have given you ready-made pudding. Why spoiling the pudding? Okay. If this is 0, 3x 5 minus 7 is 0, then 3x by 5 equals 7. 3x we cross multiply 35. So x is 35 by 3. That's 1, 1, 2 third. Right? The second one, if the second factor is 0, right side is 0, remember. So 2x plus 5 is minus 1. So 2x is minus 5, cross multiply. So x is minus 5 by 2, which is minus 2.5. So I got two values. Right? You don't have to expand it. This is something new. So as I am teaching the children, I keep on giving sums, which in my teaching experience of 35 years or more, I have learned from you. You are my best teachers. Today I stand here because of you all, and thank you so much. Okay, so, but when I give the test, I give this, I taught this, I gave this, teachers taught this, but I do something naughty. And what is that naughty thing? That is, suppose I have x plus 3 and x minus 2. Yes, you have x minus 2 and x plus 3, and you have a x minus 2, and you got here, suppose 6 I gave. Yes, I gave 6. Then children do what? If x, it's already factorized, so I am going to find the value of x. So x plus 3 is 6, therefore x is 3, and x minus 2 is 6, therefore x is equal to 8. No, that's completely wrong. If product of two numbers is 6, that does not mean one of them is 6. Because there are multiple pairs of numbers whose product will give you 6, which are infinite pairs. Right? That is only when it is 0. And I used to trick my children like this. Right? So here it is open the bracket, it is not 0. It is not. If it is 0, yes. You don't have to factorize. You don't have to open the bracket. You just write this into this is 0. So one of them has to be 0. Right? So I'll open the bracket x square plus x minus 6 and minus 6. You know why I'm doing fast? Because I know the formula x plus a into x plus b is x square plus a plus b into x plus ab. Okay? If you know formulas, maths goes very fast. Okay? So formulas are not for the particular chapter. It is for application of all formulas wherever you require to speed up maths. Right? So here I get x square plus x minus 12. So product is minus 12x square. So simply difference of factors of 12 should give you 1, and that's 4 and 3. That is 4 and 3. So x square plus 4 minus 3x minus 12 is 0. So you get x square plus 4x minus, this is for 8th standard. The 12th standard should also, should straight away apply the formula for x square plus x minus 12. They should straight away write 12th standard x plus 4 into x minus 3. Because they should straight away use the formula of x plus a into x plus b. Right? This is for 8th standard. Right? So children, as we go higher classes, the same sum can be tackled in 5 or 6 ways, and higher you go, the shorter the methods become. Okay? So, and there's still short methods. I can do x square minus x minus say 56 is 0. Right? I can write x minus 8 into x plus 7 is 0. You should know that is for people who are plus 2 students, 10th standard students, they should know it. Right? So here I have x, I factorize, I get this, and then the rest I am going fast because you know all this factorization, how to solve. This is basically to teach you the different sums, right? the different types of sums. So one I gave with 0, one I gave you factorized already with 0, but factorized with another number. So number I cannot write this is equal to 6 and this is equal to 6, and therefore that is wrong. Right? Only if A into B into C is 0, right, then any of the number is 0. So, so that reminds me to give you one sum, and you just try it. What is the answer of this? X minus A into X minus B into X minus C, X minus D, and so on, till last one is X minus Z. It goes on and into, and that is Z. What is the answer of this? So as I'm teaching you, I'll give you something nice. What is the answer of this? Right? If you subscribe and you chat with me or message me, I can tell you the answer. This is very easy, use of trick. So this is one of the questions in entrances. So it continues the product till the first one is X and the last one is Z. What is the product of this now? Function, okay? This polynomial. So now when you have, like suppose you have x square y square minus 3xy and minus 10 is 0. This is not quadratic, but it can be transformed into or converted to a quadratic equation taking xy as t. You can't take xy as x or xy as y. Do not use the same alphabets when you substitute. Okay? You cannot say let 3x be equal to x. That's some absurd mathematics. You want to let 3x be equals to any other alphabet, t for, but not x. So xy is t, so this becomes t square minus 3t minus 10, and when you factorize in the end results, if you get the answers t minus 5 into t plus 2 is 0, you put the value of t as xy, right? So anyway, I can do directly. The product of these two is minus 10x square y square. So the difference of factors of 10 should give me 3. So that is x square y square minus 5 minus 2 is 5 2s are 10. Difference is 3. xy, why did I say difference? Because the product was minus 10x square y square. So difference of the factors of 10 should give me 3. So that is, you open the bracket and you solve it. So you get x square y square minus 5xy plus 2xy minus 10 equals 0. This should be 0. So you type xy common, xy minus 5 plus you have 2 common, xy minus 5 is 0. So xy minus 5 and xy plus 2 is 0. Now two factors are 0. So therefore xy equals 5 and xy equals minus 2 if you equate each term to 0. Now the question here will not be find x or y, right? So they may say find the ratio of x and y, or find the relation between x and y. So here xy equals 5, xy equals 2. If they want you to find the value of x and y, then they have to give you another condition that x plus 5 is 9, then find xy. Here they may ask you the ratio, they may ask you relation between xy. Okay, so xy is equal to 5. Or they say what is x if y equals 1. So directly you can put y as 1 here and you can solve it, right? You can get the value of x. So this is the other quadrat. Sometimes we get quadratic equation of this type. Say you get 3 2a plus b whole square minus, suppose you have the 3612 9. So say you have 21 2a plus b and say plus 36 is 0. Okay. While I was doing quadratic expressions, I have not done the method of substitutions. So here what is it that you can see a particular group of terms, okay, is there in the question, and then one is a square and one is the square root of that. So if it's 4 it will be square, if it is 2 it is 1, and so on. So you can do this by opening the bracket, but it will take long time. So once you see this, you take 2a plus b equals, say x, because x is not. Please don't take 2a plus b as x, or 2a plus b as, 2a plus b as a, or 2a plus b as b. You can take any other alphabet other than a and b. So I took it as x. So that becomes 3x square minus 21x plus 36 is 0. Yes. So I get product is plus 108x square. right? So remember here x, later on in the end you'll write it as 2a plus b. Even if I forget, see that in the end result you'll replace x as 2a plus b, because the question does not have x, right? So the either is find the ratio of a and b, or the question will find a and b, whatever. Let's see what we can do. So you're solving it. If you're solving, so you're getting 108. Factors of 108 positive, whose sum will be 21. Right? So here it becomes a big, suppose I take 2 into 54, sum is 56. Okay? Or you take 6 into 6 ones are 18. The sum here is 24. Right? So yeah, 14, 24. But say you take 12 nines are 108. So what is the sum? 21. So you write 3x square minus 12 plus 9x plus 36, and if you're very good, very fast, you can write minus 12x minus 9x directly, and just for smaller children I'm showing it, right? So now here 3x, x minus 4 minus 9, x minus 4. Why are written? Because I got minus 9 and a plus 36, so I'll take a minus 9 out. Okay, so to get x minus 4, if I take plus 9, I'll get 4 minus x. So it is opposite in sign, then you take minus sign, right? So x minus 4 into 3x minus 9 is 0. Basically, you could have done this sum in a very short method. Okay, you have 3, 21 and 36. So you can divide by 3 this to make it shorter, because all are multiples. So that makes you a faster way of doing. So here it becomes 4 and 3 faster, right? So when there's something common, you can immediately divide it and make smaller numbers, so you get a smaller product. So getting factors of smaller product is easy, right? So here you got x as 4 and x as 3. 3x equals 9, so x as 3. So this would have been faster if you had divided the numbers with 3. So now the question is, you got what was my x? So write in. So my x was, actually the factors are 2a plus b, yes, 2a plus b minus 4, and the other factor is 3 times 2a plus b, right, and minus 9. So I'll use square brackets here. Okay, so I write again 2a plus b minus 4 and square bracket 3 times 2a plus b. If you're factorizing, you have to write like this. Here you don't have to write, because you have no x, and what is x? 2a plus b is 4, and the other one is 2a plus b is 3. Therefore, you can solve with simultaneous equations to get the value of a and b. Is it clear? So, we continue in the next class. And if you have any kind of queries, children, please message me on my number. Do subscribe, share,